Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Expert Media Webinars. We are in our new place. And so our setup is a little bit jury-rigged.
A little bit.
It's,
It's a lot jury-rigged.
And we have a very special guest joining us.
Snickerdoodle. That was perfectly on cue.
We don't have all the space that we used to or a door to lock to my office. So you may get to see more of our cats, and you know what? That's okay.
That's life.
So I just a real quick check to make sure that you can see us and hear us okay. If you could let me know, that I'd appreciate that.
It's funny. This is called the mother of all updates, and we literally just had an update that kicked us out of everything like 2 minutes ago.
Yeah, we had to update Chrome and some other things because of, I guess, a change or something. I don't know. But anyway, just understand that we are tired and
mildly. That's putting it mildly.
We'll explain more in a little bit.
Yeah.
And
exhausted.
Yeah, we're still unpacking. We have a lot unpacked here, but not everything by any stretch of the imagination. And I'm still not 100% convinced that what we have here is all going to fit. So we'll figure that out. We have 3 full storage units right now that we are going to happily go through over the next several months.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway.
And about probably 20 more bins to unpack yet.
Yeah, about that.
I've unpacked 29.
So anyway, what I'm going to do is just go full screen here. And I wanted Kristen to join in tonight because we have a lot that we are going to be updating, hence the name, the mother of all updates. Yeah, funny, Liz. You know, I have no issue actually with downsizing. It was a long time coming, but
yeah,
my word,
we were out of control.
Well,
we were so out of control.
I don't know that I would say it quite like that, but
2 people and 3 cats filled 6,000 square feet.
Yeah, well, that's true. So anyway, let's get into it so we're not all here all night.
Be good.
Obviously, the update didn't fix the scrambled screen.
Nah.
So I thought this would be a kind of a fun title for this section, Life in the Upside Down.
Yep.
Because that's kind of what it feels like right now. But we are finally moved out of our house completely and into our apartment. We found out on Sunday. We are planning on kind of taking a leisurely week here to take care of the finals because our closing is on April 22nd. And so we figured, we got a couple of weeks, we're good. And then our realtor called us on Sunday and said, hey, the new buyers were wondering if they could move in on Saturday.
And pay you rent.
So,
which we're pretty much out anyway.
Yeah, I mean, extra $400. Yeah. I mean, hey.
Why not?
But so that was fine. And then we got another call saying they were wondering if maybe they could move in on Thursday. And so they're like,
my fault. I told our realtor that we would have everything cleaned up and ready probably by Thursday. I didn't guarantee it. I used the word probably.
Yeah. So
she's like, they took that to mean they could move in on Thursday. So they're doing their final walkthrough Thursday morning and have the moving truck already scheduled for Thursday afternoon.
Yeah. So we, the final things that needed to leave the house left today, not courtesy of our storage units, but there was a bunch of furniture that we still had that we honestly just didn't have room for anywhere anymore, like our bedroom set. And so we donated it all to Habitat. And so they
came with a truck and 2 guys and took it all away.
Yeah, they took everything. So that was awesome. And then our housekeeper is there right now. She says that she's going to work all night. to give a deep clean to the entire house, and we have some painting that needs done. And technically we don't have to do it because they signed off on the house as is, but you know, I would want to have a nice clean house to move into. So that is that's what we're doing, because that's how we roll. So so she's doing that to make sure that that's done, and then Kristen and I are going to go over tomorrow afternoon once she's finished and shoot some video there of the final empty house. We're going to do like a quick walkthrough and a little chat about, you know, the transition, because it's kind of a big deal, especially for me. It's
a much bigger deal for you than for me.
Yeah, because my first wife and I built the house 27 years ago. So my girls were like 5 and 7 whenever we moved in there, and now they're in their 30s and have children older than they were when we moved into the house. And so it's just weird. It's you know, there's a lot of good memories there. All my grandbabies being there, and my dad, you know, visited us there for a long time. And you know, it's a change. So I haven't given myself permission yet to ugly cry about it all, but I'm sure that's coming sooner or later. It isn't going to be tonight. So just there you go.
It might be tomorrow night. I'll edit that out of the video. Yeah. I did leave an entire box of tissues just in case.
Funny. Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, we just moved from 5,000 square feet to 600 square feet. And the reason why we did it ultimately was we have our sights set on something else. And so the apartment that we have is completely renovated from, I mean, they stripped everything and rebuilt it from the ground up. So we have like exposed original brick, and they refinished the floors that are about 140 years old, give or take.
Gorgeous.
And they're gorgeous.
The whole place is gorgeous.
So
they did a great job.
Yeah, they did a really great job. And so the reason why we did that is because, and I have a slide on this, so I won't talk too much about it. Actually, it's at the end of this one, but we're planning to go full-time RV. So this is a transition for us. We wanted to learn how to live small.
Which is ironic, especially for me. Yeah. I moved into the house and I said, this will not do. We need more space.
So the house was small,
and it's my fault.
And we tripled the size since she and I were together. So yeah, it was interesting. So pile on top of that, we've had 2 retail stores. We still have 1, but inventory and everything. We had 7 antique booths and all of that. So we still have inventory from some of those. We still have fixtures, all of those kinds of things.
And I mean, we have gotten rid of 4 storage units full, and we're talking big ones, 10 by 18 and 10 by 20.
You know, and you know us, we roll big. So, you know, we had 10 life-size dinosaurs and my black bear and all of that. And it's all going away.
Yeah.
The dinos are going to a museum, it appears. And the bear, we have a buyer who was planning to pick it up the other day, but then the timing chain belt broke in her car on the way to pick up the bear, which is no small deal for those of you who know cars.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, just the fact that we have only 3 storage units.
That's a big deal.
Is a big deal. And
we turned our trailer into a dino storage unit.
Yeah, the dinos are in the trailer until the museum gets them. And of course, we filled a storage unit at our local auction place for selling a bunch of our stuff.
A 10 by 20 floor to ceiling front to back.
Yeah.
Is full.
And we still have more to give them.
Yeah.
But so it's been quite the experience, you know. But it took us 3 months basically to start the downsizing and the selling and all of that.
We've been doing that for 2 years, basically since middle to end of COVID shutdown stuff, 2020. We started downsizing the stuff from Toy Box because we closed Toy Box in January 2020 and before everything went bad and went south. So I actually started the downsizing back then. And then, of course, it got put on pause for a few months with the whole shutdown thing. And there was a lot. But I posted crap on Marketplace like crazy. That's how we got rid of most of the retail fixtures.
You'd be surprised what you can sell on Marketplace.
Oh, yeah. Well, we sold your car on Marketplace.
Yeah, sold my Mustang on Marketplace to a guy in Ohio.
Cat hairs. There will be a video on our YouTube channel about cat hair.
We're not on.
We're not
the
on.
Live video.
Oh, right. They can't see me waving my hands around frantically, getting the cat hair out of my face.
So one of the big adjustments for us has been moving from the country basically to in-town living.
I never really saw it as a country, but maybe that's because I actually lived in the country in the middle
of a
farm.
Well, when we built the house, we were completely surrounded by fields. So there were deer that come up and all of that.
Country,
and now it's developments, but we still had across the street was just a huge open field with the farm and a direct view of the mountains, which is kind of cool. Now we have a direct view of the next building over.
We have a direct view of the brick wall that if we opened our windows, we could touch it.
Yeah,
it's literally that close.
But what's cool now,
is staring at the pigeons sitting.
But what's cool is that the entire town was torched in 1864. Well, that part ain't cool, but the building, whenever they rebuilt the buildings, which the several buildings that are here on our block existed then, and so whenever they rebuilt them, they reused a lot of the building. And so if you look at the bricks for the building next to us, you can still see some of the scorching that happened, 1864, which is interesting. And one of the great things, I love historic research and genealogy and all that, as many of you know. And so I couldn't resist but do research from on this building, which is now just apartments, and a store downstairs, which sells
retail store,
cosmetics.
It's a Merle Norman store.
Yeah, and so it didn't take long to discover that the original use of this building at the turn of the century, starting in 1899 and for about 40 years, is that it was a mortuary, undertaker and funeral home and all of that exciting stuff, which is awesome. Although we haven't seen any ghosts yet or anything like that, so that's kind of cool. But one thing that is interesting is most of the units that are here in the building now are actually being rented out as Airbnbs. But the guy who is doing that, he and his girlfriend, his wife, they're photographers. Yeah, and so they're using it for portrait. A lot of their apartments.
She is a photographer, and her brother is. He's not.
Yeah, so they're doing portraits and boudoir and stuff like that in the other apartments, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, so there will be some traffic here, but not like every single day, which is kind of cool for us because we basically have the whole floor to ourselves. And there's somebody who's living above us. I'm pretty sure he works night shift because he's up all night long.
The buildings are brick, Ganti.
Yeah, they're brick.
They're like a wood structure with brick.
I think it's cute how you're pointing at the brick wall, like they can all see you pointing at it.
Yeah, see.
I'll be doing a video once we get all settled in, showing the space and doing just like a little tour of the space. But that's probably not even going to be shot for another couple weeks.
Yeah, so our goal is full-time RV life, as I mentioned, and this is the RV that we are buying.
Yeah, actually, this RV is bigger than our apartment, which is, our apartment is 600 square foot, but the way they utilize the space and the storage and stuff, it's going to feel bigger. The way there's a separate room in the center, it'll feel bigger, and also all the storage underneath. So we're actually going to be moving from 600 square feet to 800 square feet because the basement is like 400 square feet of storage.
Yeah, right here, that little door is going to be to my office.
Yep.
Which is where I'll be teaching from. So anyway.
Yeah, it is huge.
Yeah, 41 feet and a lot of space.
We'll be filling that bad boy.
Yeah, so there's going to be another downsizing coming once we make that purchase. And basically all of our existing furniture and everything is going to go.
Yeah, we're not even going to keep the RV furniture. We're going to do something a little different than what they have in there. Partly because we have to fit the litter box and the cat stuff and my desk where that couch is at the end.
Yeah, right there.
Right there.
So
and I really, really, really want to find a way to fit a massage chair in there.
We have not bought the truck yet, Debbie, but we are starting to look. We wanted to get past closing, which is next Friday.
We've driven one.
Yeah, we have done a test drive, fell in love with it. It's going to be a dually because the fifth wheel is 18,000 pounds, and so we need some power to pull it.
And the bigger issue is with being downtown, we have not really a good place to park it.
Yeah, dualies are big ass trucks, and they're not cheap. I mean, honestly, the dually in the RV will cost as much as our house did. Just about.
Our refi was less.
Our refi was less. Yeah, the truck is 120 grand. So there's that.
Yeah, but it really is a palace on wheels, Mark. It's going to be nice to be able to have all of our favorite things with us.
Yeah, Val says you need to consider weight when storing stuff in an RV. That's why we're getting this RV. We can actually, this RV can handle 4,000 pounds of storage.
Yeah, 4,000 pounds of stuff. And most RVs are at like 2,000.
No, it's not 18,000 pounds plus our stuff. It's actually 14,000 pounds plus our stuff.
Yeah.
So
it's an 18 capacity.
And this has one of the highest storage capacities weight-wise that exists. So that's why we're
So Magickal Bear inventory will be in the front there.
Right. Plus, we're planning on doing some art shows and stuff like that on the road. So we're going to have like pop-up tents and some
there's
displays
not any
and
other
stuff.
RV that can fit pop-up tents and the shelving units that we got for that fold up and the displays and things. There's just most of the storage bays are like one of those things. And then we just bought kayaks, and they're Oru kayaks, which are origami ones, but so they fold up, but still
25 pounds.
Yeah, 25 pounds
for a 12-foot kayak.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. But like those kayaks will fit easy peasy in this thing, but in a regular RV, we wouldn't be able to fit those with the tent and stuff.
Right. The brand, Leslie, is Palomino, I think.
It's technically in the Forest River.
No.
It's,
I thought
Forest River owns Palomino, Columbus, and all of those. But it's like their top of the line, like second to the very, very top. Riverstone Legacy is the other one we looked at, and that's their top. If they could put this floor plan or the Riverstone Legacy floor plan on this base, that would be perfect.
We are using a mail service, Roxanne.
Yep. I'll be doing videos for our YouTube channel and all this stuff as we set it up.
Yeah.
And like when we change our domicile this summer and all the other things.
All right. So that's kind of where we're heading. So X for Media Group, as you're all probably well aware, I haven't really taught much of anything over the last few weeks for good reason. And honestly, with all the moving and the craziness and all of that kind of stuff, I'd have rather just been teaching, but it had to be done.
You had to get exercise.
Yeah.
It was a lot.
It had to be done. Now, I have still been doing some planning, thinking and taking notes because I use Evernote for everything. And so it's available on my phone and computer and everywhere else.
Yeah, you came home from the mountains on like our actual move day and said, so I got the next 4 courses outlined. I'm like, really?
Yeah. So
I brainstormed at least.
Yeah. So
that's not where my brain was.
Here's what I'm currently working on. What's going to be coming up here over the next couple months. All subject to change with notice. Oracle Deck Creator. And this is a little bit self-serving, quite frankly, because I'm using it as I create my own first Oracle deck, and I have 7 outlined now. Crazy. But I'm mapping the entire process so that it'll be very easy for anybody and everybody to create your own. And so
that'll be a combination of pre-recorded and live.
Right. So it'll be different from what was the one that I did? Prompt card design or whatever it was. We talked about Oracle decks there a little bit, but this is going to be solely focused on beginning to end. It's going to be pretty awesome. So there will actually be video for all the cards that I'm creating and all of that. Pretty cool. Also, probably next week, I'm going to be recording a video on publishing NFTs to Foundation, which is another marketplace built on the Ethereum blockchain. And I'll talk about why I'm publishing those NFTs there. They're all ready to go. There's going to be a course on NFT generative art that's coming up mid-May, I think, is when I have that scheduled.
We have to look at that, by the way.
And generative art is basically where you take a bunch of different pieces that are all related and then stack them together to create
it's how people do what, those 10,000 different.
Yeah, like 5,000, 10,000 different works of art for NFTs. That's all done through generative art. So we're going to dig into a lot of detail on how to do that, how to create the art, how to mix it all together, how to mint it all to the various marketplaces and all of that. Lauren says, is this going on Magickal Bear BTS? There is going to be some Magickal Bear behind the scenes stuff coming up very soon. Matter of fact, next slide. We're going to talk about that, Lauren. Public domain character hacks. I did a poll in the Facebook group about various new potential hacks courses, and character hacks is number one, which kind of made me happy because that's the one that I really wanted to do. So that all worked out. So we'll probably get to that the end of May, beginning of June. I'm thinking something like that. And there are more. I'm planning some deep dives like Procreate. And I just got a brand new iPad Pro today.
He hasn't even opened it yet.
Just showed up in the mail today.
I've been playing with mine for the last week plus.
And the new ones.
My word, game changer.
Yeah, the new ones with the M1 chips, they are incredibly fast and a little bit bigger, and their new keyboard and everything is pretty awesome. So we're going to look at Procreate. We're going to look at probably some other apps, but also deep dives on some other software. I actually haven't done any deep dives in a little while. Roxanne says, did you see that 13-year-old girl made $7 million in a year selling her art as NFTs? Yeah, I did. Very cool story. And there's actually quite a few that are starting to do that. And I love it because it's such an incredible opportunity that, you know, anybody can take advantage of. And quite frankly, in my opinion, you're crazy if you don't. Right? It's not like it's hard. I mean, I've taught you all everything you need to succeed with it. So
yeah, to at least do one collection.
Yeah, so get to it. What are you waiting for?
What are you waiting for? You're not moving. Yeah. Well, some of you might be.
Also, I do have a few courses in the works specifically for Magickal Bear. So you all will be welcome to join in that as well. People who are in Magickal Bear BTS will get access to those for free, of course. And speaking of Magickal Bear, these are a couple of my cards for the first Oracle deck, which I think a lot of you have already seen. So the transitions of the past few months has slowed progress on Magickal Bear, but
wonder why.
We have still been building relationships, connections, and inventory. We've still been mapping out ideas, and we have a lot of them. And we're going to be, now that the move is pretty much all said and done, we're going to kick back into gear for creating updates for Magickal Bear and all of that. A couple things that we'll be talking about in those updates are the partnerships that we've been building with different makers. One of the things that we decided several months ago is that rather than us try to do it all,
even though we like to learn
from a product creation perspective, why not partner together with makers and buy from them?
It's not practical for us to do it all ourselves.
And so we've already started with a couple of those relationships. One is with a wire wrap artist. And
her stuff is gorgeous.
These are a couple of things that she has made.
She has only been doing this for a month.
Yeah.
It's just, her stuff is amazing. So I've actually been talking with her and worked out a deal for sorry, Debbie distracted me there with her comment. I've been working at a wholesale deal where we'll provide the stones and then she will provide the wrap and wrap them, and they'll be exclusive to us. We'll have something on them like a charm or something that'll make them exclusive to Magickal Bear.
Yeah, we're going to get these charms made with either the Magickal Bear logo or something like that.
Yeah, the bear itself.
Yeah.
Now that our trademark finally went through.
Yeah.
We just got that like, what, 2 weeks ago? Last week?
Yeah. Well, what happened was our tagline got flagged.
Yeah.
So we're
still working on that. I heard back from her and haven't updated you yet.
Oh.
We're going to move forward as if and attempt to go through with it and see what happens.
Okay. Well,
rather than do a new one.
It gets expensive.
It does get expensive.
Trademarks, $1,000 a pop.
$1,100 to do the new one.
Yeah.
For 3 words. But she said we may not have a problem because this company, even though they renewed it, they're not using it.
Oh.
They're not using it.
A different company.
No, same company. The one that wrote that book right there that you have sitting over there, Crystal.
Oh, I thought you meant the new one that we came up with.
No, the new one's fine. And she said that one looks like it would be totally fine.
Oh, okay.
It's just now a matter of, do we really want to switch it, or do we want to still try and stick with Ancient Wisdom for Modern Paths?
What was the new one?
Light Your Path.
Light Your Path. Yeah. So anyways.
I like them both.
I like being protected.
Yeah.
And
yeah, so we got our official Magickal Bear text spelled that way is trademarked. And our bear logo is trademarked. Honestly, I was concerned about the bear logo. She did have a little hang up with that, but she was able to push through it.
Good. So anyways, yeah, this gal is really talented. We also have partnered together with a leather artist, leather worker, and a local guy actually. And he's just starting to really build out his business. So he's going to do some exclusive leather work for us. For products, which is awesome. And I think I showed you these before. These are actually cards to go with some of the crystal bears that we have that we'll be selling.
Larimar bear.
Well, we don't have that yet. I haven't bought that one that I showed you yet.
Oh.
She dropped the price on it.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's only 111 or something.
Anyway. Buy that tonight.
These discussions.
This is normal for us.
Finding Larimar.
Buy me a Larimar bear tonight, dang it.
It's hard to find, and it's a very expensive stone.
It is quickly becoming my favorite stone ever. But yeah. I mean, look at it. It looks like the
Caribbean
Ocean.
That's what this is.
Yeah, that's Larimar also. It's just a lighter grade.
So anyways, yeah.
Only.
Yeah, only $111.
Oh, no, normally, like, I don't know how much my little sphere set you back, but...
Almost $300.
Yeah, I was going to say it had to be close to $300. And it's like the size of a quarter, but a sphere. So it's not very big.
It's not inexpensive.
It's only from the Dominican Republic. It's the only place you can find it in the entire world. Which is fitting, I think, considering the color.
Yeah, makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Aliens have humor. So anyways, there's a lot more updates that are happening with Magickal Bear, but we're going to be sharing most of those with the behind the scenes folks.
Yeah. We haven't done any videos on this stuff yet because a lot of this literally has been happening while we're moving.
Yeah.
I mean, I was buying these wire wraps while I was packing, so I haven't even gotten to open some of them.
Yeah, I can't zoom in Ganty, unfortunately. I don't have a zoom feature on this. So yeah, I mean, literally, like the one couple we've had brief conversations with before about the leather work, and then we randomly ran into them at Hobby Lobby the other day, and we have a leather sewing machine that we basically gave them to store and said that they can use so that it would get out of our house
and not have to put it in storage because it's too big.
Evan asked, how did you find your makers? Some of it was happenstance, but we tend to stalk people who are making what we want.
Yeah.
And then reach out to them. And a good place to do that is Facebook.
Well, and the leather worker,
Instagram.
I actually hired his wife because she was a professional organizer and had her own business and stuff. We did a little bit of bartering. She came and helped organize the play space a couple years ago, like before, like back in 2019, 2018. I met her at a networking event, but she was in the process of dissolving her organizing business when I met her. So I was helping her transition with some coaching, and she helped me in the play space. And in seeing everything we had there, she wanted to become a part of it because her husband at the time, who had a horrible mechanics job that he wanted out of, he wanted to run a maker space or something sometime. So we were actually going to work out something together. And then he settled on starting to work on leather and doing shows and stuff. So I've just kept in touch with them. We've had him at Geek Fest. So that was kind of like serendipitous that it just all fell into place. And his quality is amazing. Like just what, and I was skeptical at first, but what he's been creating is pretty darn amazing. Most of it's his own designs. I mean, he does some patterns, but most of it is patterns he's come up with himself.
Did you see his nose dye bag?
Or yes.
Side bag thing?
Isn't that gorgeous?
Yes.
Yeah.
I just saw that today when I was on his website.
Yeah, I saw that a couple days ago. No, so the wire wrap girl, I met her through a rock group that I'm in on Facebook. So it's a paid membership that I'm a part of called the Crystal Clubhouse, and it's run by the Crystal Collector. And she posted a picture of one of her wraps and said, "I'm just playing around learning how to do this." And that was all she did. She didn't sell anything. She didn't have a website. She didn't have a website. She's got a Facebook group, and that's it. And actually, yeah, it's just a group. And she's only selling in her Facebook group right now, where she'll post a picture and you have to comment on it sold. And she's not even using a comment sold app, but it's just you write the comment and then she sends you a PayPal invoice. So she's doing everything the hard way right now. But in talking with her back and forth, I've been able to work out a deal because she's new. She doesn't want to be paid very much until she has more experience. She has no idea how talented she is. And that's my superpower, is to find people who have no idea how talented they are, groom them, grow them to the point that we don't want to pay them as much anymore and let them go fly off and into bigger and better things. So it's really cool how we meet these people. Because I mean, we are perfectly capable of wire wrapping jewelry. Both of us are. And we're both probably capable of learning how to do leather work and other things that we have in the works. But why should we do all those things ourselves when there's great makers out there that we can partner with and support too?
Yeah, so we want to get into jewelry and a lot of different things like that. And there's some makers out there that we're planning to connect with on those lines too.
Yeah, I
that
think
can
I've
do
got
silver
like
casting and
20
stuff.
some of her pieces right now, the gal for the wire wraps. So some of those will go on the Magickal Bear site as tests.
Right.
See how they do.
Yeah, if you want to send us that contact info, Debbie, for the person you know, we're always open to new people.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at styles. Like she's just playing around with cab styles right now, and I like how she incorporates a little bead or three. Like the Larma has 3 little copper beads there. So that's a little stylistic thing that she does that a lot of others don't do. So I'm looking for other makers that we can partner with. Plus, I mean, if you're looking for partners, go to art shows.
Yeah. I mean, anything we can do to support other artists, we're there. We love doing that. So next up, Nerd Unscripted. A lot of you have been
waiting for this one.
A lot of you have been asking. I didn't realize that the last show was actually the week of Christmas 2020.
Holy cow, really? That long ago?
It's been over a year.
So should we wait until the week of Christmas 2022 for our inaugural episode?
I don't know, maybe.
No, you're announcing it here.
So it is returning, except as some of you already know, we are changing the name from Nerd Unscripted to Unscripted and Magickal. And the reason why is just for the sake of consistent branding.
Yeah.
Our YouTube channel is Unscripted and Magickal Life.
Our other YouTube channel.
YouTube channel. Not this one. And we'll talk about that in a minute. And so, yeah, we're returning May 2nd. It's going to be Mondays at noon. And one of the reasons why is because our store is closed on Mondays. And so it makes it easy for Kristen to join me if she wants to.
I thought it was going to be a thing we do together.
Well, yes.
I mean, you do say you're going to focus on the Library Chronicles in the next bullet point.
Right. Yeah, we're going to focus
part of it.
We're going to focus on the Library Chronicles and what that means. And for those of you who don't know what the Library Chronicles are, the Library Chronicles is a series of downloads that I've been getting for over 2 years now, 3 years, something like that. But pretty much every morning I'm in the mountains and I get these downloads, and they're really getting trippy, man. I mean,
oh my word.
The ones lately, I haven't even read you today's.
I know, you haven't read me the last week's worth.
It's crazy how
Except
they are.
For one you did.
But some of the insights are really phenomenal and can really, I think, benefit all of you who are into those kinds of insights.
Yes, I think the very first one we planned on doing is how we manifested the sale of our house so quickly.
Yeah.
And it wasn't because of the market or anything. We were actually having trouble getting people to stay interested.
Right. It was crazy. Talk about inserting a key into a lock and unlocking it.
And our housekeeper, we told her about it, and she tried something that afternoon, and it changed. I mean, just something shifted into place that was just, you can't explain other than it was a miracle.
Yeah, it worked.
Like, it literally was 10 minutes.
Yeah. It's that powerful.
Yeah. And it's something that I talked with my coach about, and she's like, yeah, I do that all the time. I'm like, why haven't you told me about this? So I feel like we both feel like it's part of our purpose to share, starting with that.
Yeah. All the courses from here on out, Ganti, are going to be on Thursdays. That's going to be my official teaching day.
We'll see how long he sticks to that.
I'm planning on sticking to it. The only exception will be I'm not planning to teach every course live. Some of them will be pre-recorded and dropped, and those may not be on Thursdays. Those will likely be on Mondays, but all my live courses will be taught on Thursdays, subject to change without notice.
I was gonna say, you've tried this before.
Yeah. So basically, the Library Chronicles are wisdom and insights from the land of light beyond the veil, which is what I just referred to it, but it's just basically insights that I get that are really, they've been life-changing, honestly, as Kristen shared.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's for both of us.
That's going to be happening. I told you, mother of all updates.
Yeah, just because we're moving, it doesn't mean our brains have stopped.
Right.
I'm amazed that we've kept up with so much.
So next up is Unscripted and Magickal Life. I think a lot of you already know this, but if you didn't, Kristen and I started a YouTube channel called Unscripted and Magickal Life. Please consider subscribing. This is the link if you want to do a search.
Copy and paste that, stick that in the chat.
I don't think I can do. Maybe I can.
No, that's just.
Oh wait, I know how to do it.
Yeah, go to the actual website.
No.
Oh.
Do it this way.
Yeah, you could do it that way.
Look at me being smart.
Aw, thanks, Ganti. Ellen, I know you're already subscribed. You've commented.
Okay.
Several of you
have
actually commented on
So basically, it documents our life journeys. I don't know why. Oh, never mind. I do know why.
Picture.
Look at this.
What?
Scramble City. It documents what we're doing as we switch from our house to full-time RV, but also the adventures that we have planned. Because part of what we're doing with our travels, we want to do art shows and stuff like that. We want to go sightsee and take photos and those kinds of things, but we're also planning on going to dig for rocks and minerals and those kinds of things. So I suspect we're going to be spending a lot of time
doing all the things
out in the Midwest states.
Yep.
Like Arizona, Nevada, Southern Utah. I think we're going to probably start there and end up living out there for 6 months.
Probably.
But anyway, one of
the things I personally want to do that actually he's had planned before we even got together is to find really cool hole-in-the-wall local businesses that will let us video and showcase them. Because I'd like to do little highlights. One of the videos I did on the channel, or we did, was, I say I did because I did all the editing, but it was McCoy's Minerals, and it's their Doc's Rock's new rock shop. And there are friends or who we got the dinosaurs from. There are pigeons on the window banging against the window, and Taco's going crazy. Sorry, guys, that was hilarious. We have a windowsill outside our window, and 2 pigeons are out there like banging their beaks on the window.
Never had pigeons before.
Yeah, that's so funny. It makes me feel like I should be singing Toppins, Mary Poppins. Anyway, that's one of the things that I want to do is highlight some cool local businesses that we discover along our path.
Yeah. So as I mentioned, we have a few new videos that are ready for editing, including our final goodbye to our house. We're
shooting that tomorrow.
We've
shot a lot of it already.
Yeah. The final parts of it tomorrow we're shooting.
The next video to go up is going to be a storage tour, which is actually before we downsized one of our storage units. And that's what I call a filler video. And then the next video after that is going to be exactly how we downsized and got rid of all of our stuff. So more like a tutorial. And then I've got a tutorial that's a very short one that I shot. It's just a quick little go bag thing of how I made our move really easy. And well, moderately easy, I guess. How we made it really easy was hired people, but they did the heavy lifting. And then after that will be our goodbye video. So I have quite a few to edit in the next couple weeks.
Yeah, one thing that I will say about the move and all of that is if it all you can do it, hire people.
Oh my word, yes.
I mean, we are here teaching tonight because our housekeeper is cleaning that house and painting and all of that kind of stuff. Otherwise, we would be there doing that. Mm-hmm. And I mean, she's been with us for what, 3 years?
4 years?
4 years? I don't know.
It's been a while.
Long time. She's awesome. And
she said it was right after the addition had been finished was when she started.
Yeah.
It's like the next
it was her and her mom.
So. It was her and her mom together. Yeah.
Yeah, we know Ganty.
Well, the cool thing, Ganty, is that we don't own this building.
Right.
Not our problem.
There is some freedom in that.
Yeah.
We don't have to take care of everything.
That is kind of nice.
All right. So
considering all the stuff that was broken until we moved out.
Yeah. Moving along. I wanted to share some AI software updates with y'all as well, because they've been very busy updating also. Artbreeder, I don't know if you've been on it lately. They have a brand new interface. It's still in beta, but it's available. And they've also added some options and improvements. I'm not necessarily a huge fan of, the new interface. And I'll show you why. I mean, it's cool, but they did not do themselves any favors with the new interface. This is, I'm logged in, but this is what it normally looks like, right? And so you have the different categories across the top. And then if you want to create something, you just click create. Those of you who used Artbreeder, this is all familiar. So, this is what it looked like and still does currently, all the various categories. And then you just pick a category, any category, and then you can upload an image or compose an image or whatever. So that's the way it has worked. You'll notice, though, in the upper right-hand corner, there's a section called New Version. And by clicking on that, that's how you get to the new interface. And a lot of it looks the same, except that except that it's not. And so you can click on starter images that other people have created, just like you could before, which actually that one there's kind of cool looking. And you can see they have images, genes, all categories, or you can pick just one. So rather than seeing the big icons across the top with the different categories, you have to come down here and choose. So if I wanted portraits, I could just click portraits and that shows me those. It's showing images currently, but you can also do genes. So it shows transitional images that you can start with. So that's new. And then you can still do sorts here, again, with this bottom navigation, trending, random, recent, and so on. But where the big change is in how you create them, the new versions of images. So if you click the little plus button, you get the categories here, which is fine. But whenever you choose a category, everything is different. So you can see here they make 3 suggestions. You can sort through those by clicking the refresh button here. And if you see something that you like that you want to start with, you can, of course, do that. So like, let's say we like this gal here. So it brings her down below, which is a little confusing to me. And if I click on her, this is what comes up. Now, obviously, they are not quite thinking clearly in how they're labeling some of these things, because like they have a breed button below this gal, which seems kind of weird to me. But, you know, if I want to save her as is, we have the little download button here. This upload is to add your own image to influence. But if I do click the breed, what happens is it brings up a whole series of genes, which we've had before, but the interface is completely different. It's all sliders. And so like, if I want to adjust her expression, I can like open her mouth. I can open her eyes wider, those kinds of things. And so they basically categorized all of the different gene options, and then chaos is clear down here at the bottom, which used to be upper left-hand corner. And so you can make adjustments through chaos and everything. But another thing that they recently introduced right before they released this beta was your ability to add genes. So like, for instance, if I want to influence her with this character here, it adds in a gene. I'm trying to think of where it puts it. Custom genes. So it adds the gene in here. And so now I can use the slider to influence her more, which right now it's mostly just affecting her eyes, which is actually kind of cool. And then if you want to add additional influences, you can add a parent. So
the redhead, that could be fun.
So now you can see that we have an equal balance of the face and style. So like, let's say we like the style of the redhead, we can move that slider more this way. But you'll notice that if I move the face, we have the face of the girl here, except lighter eyes and the red hair. So we can adjust the sliders accordingly. Like if we go the other way here, we can get a pretty cool influence of the two. And then, of course, we still have all the genes here that we can use to further influence. So like, let's say I wanted to give her eyes more of a blue color, which is introducing some blonde highlights. So maybe pull the blonde hair back, because I want the red to shine through. So actually, let's do it this way.
That's so crazy.
It is crazy how we can influence things like this. And so we could bump up the red a little bit more. So you get the idea. And this process works not just in portraits, but in landscapes and all the other options that are available, all the other categories. And then you might remember in the original version, they had a section to influence called children. So now it's no longer called children, it's called spawn multiple. So if I click on spawn multiple, what it will do is give us the one that I had created, the combination of these two parents. And so now it gives us 3 choices. And then if I hit refresh, it gives us 3 more. And I can choose again how much influence that I want for each of these parents. And what's cool is we can add in more parents, you know. So like, let's say we want to add in Scarlet Witch or whatever. It introduces.
Kind of looks phoenixy.
Yeah. And the other thing it's cool that is different is that as you make these adjustments to the parents, it updates the children. They don't call them that now, but it updates them in real time. But the same is also true with the genes over here. So like if I increase the brown hair, it automatically updates all 3 in real time. And so then if you see one that you really like, you think, oh, this first girl is on it, you can just click the little check mark and it'll add her as a saved image down below and replace her with another option, which is what it did before. But anyways, something that's kind of cool. And then yay. I'd really like to figure out what's causing that. Accomplice is also updated. I talk with Adam pretty regularly, and the coolest thing that Accomplice has added these days is additional models. He's also done a lot of work behind the scenes, so it's much more robust. The databases for ImageNet and WikiArt are a lot larger than what they used to be. He also added a lot more computing power, so the renders are about 25% faster than what they used to be. But what's super cool to me is that he's added some new models, and there's a lot more about that some of which I'll share. I think I can share. Disco Diffusion is a really cool model. I would highly encourage you guys to experiment with. It's a little bit more realistic, but not like realistic, more along the lines of hyperrealism from an art perspective versus actual realism that you would get like from the Glide model. Okay, so he added Disco Diffusion, which is super cool, and then Diffusion 6, which is a completely different approach than this type of diffusion. There's a lot of different types of diffusions, different models. This one generates 1 image at a time. This one, Diffusion 6, generates 6 images at a time, hence the name. But then he's also added like a low poly, and you can, if you click on Browse Models, you can see some others that he's added.
He's really been busy.
Skulls AI, product spots, emojis, color blobs, which is a relatively new one, avatars, butterflies. He's also opening it up so that other folks like you and I can contribute models, mostly focusing on public domain based art and stuff like that for now, rather than living artists. But that is a possibility in the future, to get like living artists to contribute art to build models. I'm not sure how that's going to go, but anyway, one thing that's cool is that there will be at some point, most likely, a model marketplace where you can buy custom models that other people have created, and then they get like credits, I think is how he's handling it.
That's smart.
But the other thing that you can do is you can build your own models. And so you'll see like here in the upper right hand corner, it says new model. And so you name it and describe it, and then you add in your own images, which I've built a couple of these. I did a Megan Duncanson model that's trained on 100 of her images, and I've done one on Jasmine Beckett Griffith some of her art that she put in the public domain. And so what's cool is that with custom models like this, no one else can create what you can create with these models. It's impossible, just because, it's just how it is. So like, for instance, like you could try all day long. I could give you my exact keyword phrases and all of that, and you will not be able to replicate what I'm doing. And I love that, because if we're wanting to create AI-based art, why not do something that kind of stacks the deck in our favor, right? So like you can see here, Whimsical Forest Fairies, which I have built on Megan Duncanson's model, I think. Just some random kind of stuff. I was going more for abstract.
I'd say you nailed it.
I nailed abstract. But like this one here's Megan Duncanson, and you can see at first glance, I mean, these models generate 6 pieces at a time. And so you can see that it's definitely her style, right? But it's completely different, driven by the keyword phrases. And then the other thing that is cool that that he added, he had removed for a while. I asked him if he would put it back in, and he agreed. Is this feature right here where it says edit, right? So you have this final render image, but if you come up here and click edit, it shows you all the original sectional images that were rendered along the way to get to the final end result. Now, this was a fast render, so there aren't that many steps, but he had removed this at one point, and I'm like, why did you take that away?
I asked the same thing.
Yeah.
Can you please email Adam?
So he added it back in. And then the other thing that's cool that he also added is that if you create a new image, of course, you pick your model first, which I often use ImageNet, which was the original image or model that he started with. But you'll also notice down here under quality, it says normal, fast, and best. So best basically costs 2 credits instead of 1. But it doubles the iterations so that you get real high quality detail and those kinds of things. And that works, I believe, with I think it works with ImageNet, WikiArt. It doesn't work with some of these others though, like Disco Diffusion. I don't think it does. Maybe. Yeah, I guess it does.
He may have just had to add it.
Yeah, but this is Clip Guided Diffusion. For those of you who were in the Advanced Strategies course that I taught a little while back, we spent time, if you recall, a whole module talking about Google Colabs. And so that's where Disco Diffusion really came into power, was through some of the Google Colabs. And so Adam was able to tap into those databases and build it into Accomplice rather than have to use a Google Colab. So anyways, that is super cool. There are some other things that are in the works that I can't talk about yet, but there are things in the works. One thing that's cool is for those of you who have been with this program from the beginning, which I'm the first one that promoted it, and I started using it day one, literally the first day. But it's been successful enough for him that he is officially full-time with it now, which he did have another job. I don't know if any of you knew that, but so this is his full-time gig now, which is great.
This was his passion project.
Right.
And we love to have a handle in helping people turn their passion projects into a full-time passion.
Yeah. And so honestly, one of the things that helped him do that was you guys. Mm-hmm. You joining me and digging in and getting to know it and all of that kind of stuff. And so, we all contributed to him being able to dive in and turn this thing into something amazing.
Yeah, which I told Tony when I found out, when he told me about this, I was like, so Adam's been going like on steroids before, and he had a full-time job too. So imagine what he's going to be able to accomplish with this as his primary gig.
Yeah, he has some really cool vision for it.
Holy cow. I mean, some of the programming that goes into this, I can't imagine the hours that it takes.
Yeah, beyond my control or power.
Or desire.
Or desire.
Hopefully your new computer will solve this.
It gets here. SnowPixel is also expanding its features. Some of you are familiar with this, some maybe not. It depends on what courses of mine you've taken, honestly.
I haven't heard of this one. I'm married to you.
I don't talk about SnowPixel a lot because its renders are very slow.
Oh.
But I don't want to diminish what it can do.
Maybe you did tell me about this one.
Yeah. So
is this one where you had to leave it overnight?
No, it's not that one.
I can't keep track of all the AI programs.
No, that's the PyD.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the longest I've rendered an AI thing out of that one, I think my longest right now is 13 hours. But anyway, so SnowPixel, from what I can tell, appears to be built on ImageNet as a database. But if we come over here, it's SnowPixel, make.snowpixel.app. This is one of the things that I did, and this is actually why it takes long. They give you a couple different choices for renders. The keyword phrase that I use was Portal of Light by Megan Duncanson. And then I'll show you in a little bit the option that I chose to render these images. But with this particular choice, it renders 50 images at a time, which is why it takes a while. And so actually, it may not be ImageNet because some of these are not going to be, some of these don't look like ImageNet generated, but who knows? Could be a custom database. I don't know. But you can see the benefit of having 50 images at a time is that it gives you a lot of choices. And some of them are rather badass looking, if I do say so myself. But these are some of the images that I created with the one choice. So if we go back to the original, the landing page, you can see here that they have several different models. Creative is the first one that I did. You can, it's based on coherence, which is something that Night Cafe just recently introduced. Coherence. It's a different kind of model that's, that actually is based more on diffusion than ImageNet. So the way it generates is a little bit different. You can see here that coherence, I don't want to get into a lot of tech detail, but coherence works a lot like a regular GAN does, generative adversarial network, so that it bounces back and forth to challenge itself to create better images. And so you can control a little bit of how that happens. Now, and so you can see if we click on some examples, some of it, you can get some pretty decent realism out of it, which comes from the coherence. So pretty cool results. It is a little slower, and the reason why is because with creative, it generates 10 images at a time. And then another one that I've used a lot, which is the one I just showed you, is artistic. And these are some of the artistic models. It's a completely different algorithm. I'm not sure what it's based on, but it could be ImageNet. It just doesn't kind of look, well, actually it kind of does. It's hard to tell with some of these guys what the models are that they're using, but This particular one, and of course you can upload influence images, which I always recommend experimenting with that. But this one, Artistic, generates 50 images, which is what I had showed you. And then Drafts is basically a high-speed model, so it doesn't take nearly as long. Just to give you an example, Creative takes about 40 minutes to generate the 10 images. And then Artistic, it was close to an hour to generate those. And then Structured, I haven't done a lot with yet. Very much more science-based. Almost, it reminds me a little bit of Glide, the Glide model, but very scientific. I would encourage you to experiment with them. The cool thing about it is that their credits are very reasonable, very low cost, but you're not going to get the instant interactive results like you do with Night Cafe or with Accomplice or, you know, even Artbreeder. You're just not going to get that. Matter of fact, you're not going to see anything until they're done. And then they'll send you an email notify whenever it's done. So it's basically type in a phrase, click generate, and then go do something else. That's basically it. So, but it's definitely worth experimenting with. I mean, there's so many different AI software programs that are out now. There's literally over 50. Actually, there's even more than that. And I just found out today that last week, OpenAI just released version 2 of DALL-E, which is more of a photorealistic AI generator, but it's not available to the public. It's by invitation only. So I'm going to work on trying to get myself invited. We'll see how that goes. I've seen sample images from it, though, and holy cow, it's amazing what it does. It's a crazy database model. All right. That's it. That's it.
That's it.
Ta-da.
This is happening now.
Oh, geez.
It's up there now. She's trying to jump the window again.
Here, you got to show people. Hold it up to the...
I can hold it up. You have to make us live again.
Hold on. Wait, let's do it this way.
Do the right one.
There.
Okay. So this is happening now. I don't know if you can see that, but that is
you got a pigeon.
Pigeon up, yeah, right up there, eyeballing Taco Cat, staring her down like, hello. And then it flew up, and now it's like up high, and Taco's like, oh, where'd it go?
It's like building television.
It really is.
Live action TV.
Cat TV. Oh my goodness, this is going to be a little distracting.
Fortunately,
having your office in here.
They can't see them at night.
True.
And pigeons tend to sleep at night.
Well, let's hope, because they do sit there and watch the ones across the way.
At our old house, we had doves, which are very nice. Pigeons, not so much. Which I have to tell you about the birds that I saw today on the way out of the mountains. It was weird.
Yeah, and if you can, I guess you can't really see it. That's probably a good thing. I'm covered in taco fur because she kept coming over and mewing, so I was picking her up to get her to shut up.
One of the things that I do when I go into the mountains every day is I record all the animals that I see, because very often they have meaning. And today there were no animals. It was just birds. I saw a ruffed grouse. Go figure. A Cooper hawk, and some bird that I have yet to fully identify. It looked like a crow or a blackbird, except that it had white, big white blobs under its wings.
Big white blobs.
Yeah.
Technical.
I think it was
that's weird.
New kind of bird. And it was kind of funny how they showed up, because it's like I'm driving down the road and it's like, oh shit, we're supposed to fly in front of Tony right now. And it's like, always happens that way.
does. I've been with them.
I always ask to see bears, and the only time the bears show up is usually when she's with me.
They like me.
Ganty asks, how's your veganism going? I fell off the vegan wagon.
He's not vegan anymore.
Actually, it was her coach's fault.
Yeah, my coach sensed something that he needed and said, you need to eat some tuna and maybe some chicken. So he's introduced a little bit of that.
Yeah.
But still doing a lot of vegan.
But what's interesting is we hadn't told her I was starting to get lightheaded.
Yeah.
It was starting to affect me. And then all of a sudden, out of the blue, she's like, I think Tony needs to reintroduce some things. She's an energy worker of sorts, so she can read people's energy really well. It's kind of freaky sometimes.
It is freaky all the time, but it works.
She's cool though.
But yeah, very cool people. But yeah, you also were doing a lot more physical moving, literally, because we're moving.
Well, yeah.
So
and we live
a lot
on
of physical energy.
We live on the second floor now, so.
Yeah, he's like, I was telling him, like, we're not going to get as many steps in because we have literally like 4 feet to go where we'd have to go to a whole nother building on our property. And except that there's a very, very tall staircase to get up to our apartment. So just getting home, it's like, just carrying stuff in has been helping a little bit, get accustomed to that. We've done a lot of stairs. I did 16 flights of stairs in one day because my watch track didn't told me.
Yeah, because at our old house, to go from the play space to the front room of the original house was about 100 feet.
I would say at least 60, if not.
And to go from my office to the front door was 60 feet.
Yeah. And now to go all the way outside to the back of the parking lot is 100 feet.
Yeah. From the front to the back of the apartment now is like 30 feet.
Yep.
If not even that, probably.
I'm still vegan. I did try a little bit of chicken one night and I felt like my body needed it. And then my body said, that's enough. Don't need any more. So I only had like 4 little pieces.
And I ate the rest of it.
And a coconut curry chicken. And he's like, I'll eat that.
It was awesome.
You didn't eat your own. You ate mine.
I did. It was awesome. Yeah, I am still doing 50 to 70% Ganti for sure.
Yeah, we're doing a lot of veg.
I mean, because we went
quinoa.
We were 9 months, and I actually prefer some of the food that we ate over. Like, I have no plans of going back to beef or anything like that. Although, one of the videos that we watched last night, they were doing brisket.
Briskets.
My gosh, it did look kind of tasty.
I knew I should not have clicked on that video. It's one of the YouTuber RV people that we follow. So
yeah,
I clicked on it out of obligation since we pay them now for each video.
Right. So anyway, thank y'all for joining me tonight. If you haven't liked this live video, now is an awesome time to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not a subscriber to this channel or to our Unscripted and Magical Life YouTube channel, I would appreciate it. We would appreciate it if you would be a subscriber, because we're just starting to build the other channel.
That bell on that channel especially. Okay, Liz, don't tell him about the beef guy cooking in the woods on Instagram, because then he's going to go look him up.
Yeah, we have all the different colors of quinoa. We have.
I bought red quinoa the other day, and he's like, "What's this for?" I'm like, "My robot starchy cooker came, so I want to try it."
So let me tell you a story about Kristen and I from a cooking perspective. I was thinking about this morning after she had left, because I was here most of the day. So I'm looking. Well, actually, there was a guy here repairing one of our windows because it wasn't staying up. And as he was here, I looked over at the kitchen and I'm thinking, this is very interesting, because if you look in the left half of our kitchen counter, you have a sous vide and a starchy and a new Vitamix. And so
the Avant
basically 3 robots that
high-end kitchen appliances.
And those are all what Kristen bought.
Yeah. I bought the toaster too.
And then I have like 2 pans. And that's what I use. And guess who's the one who does the cooking? It's me.
I've tried. I've been working on it.
Yeah, exactly.
I've put forth an effort.
So, for me cooking, I use, $100 pans maybe and $60 knives. And for her cooking, which she doesn't cook at all.
I wouldn't say I don't cook at all.
How many times in the last 6 months?
4.
Right. So,
but I made pizza the other night. Does that count?
But yet we have
$1,500
worth of cooking robots.
I used my Vitamix twice this last week.
So it's just comical to me. She invests in all these.
Val is texting me and says she wants a sous vide. It's awesome.
She is a robot queen, Ellen. There's no doubt about it. That's why the cat's litter box is a freaking robot.
It's a litter robot.
And
it's amazing.
Yeah, the guy who was here working on the window today.
He's like, what the heck is that?
He's like, is that your cat's water? And I said, yeah. And he's like, I've never seen anything like that. And I'm like,
water? You mean the fountain?
The fountain.
It's a cat fountain.
I said, yeah, it's automated. And I said, so is the food. So is the litter. Automated. Like, our cats are literally automated.
And they're about to be Roomba experts. As soon as I get a Roomba, they're going to ride it, I'm sure.
So.
No, see, okay. Are we still on picture? Or are you on slides?
We're on slides.
Oh.
There we are.
Picture. So this is why I love the litter robot. Check that out. I named it Cat Space Capsule because that's what it looks like, but it's got a meter on it. It's amazing. And it shows you the whole progression of things.
I'm sure that the inventor of the phone, as we know it today,
it's like
totally had in mind notifies of your cat's droppings,
But how cool is that?
She's so proud of herself.
It tells me when it's full, and all I have to do is pull out a drawer, take the bag out, and I'm done.
She's so proud of herself that she gets notifies of when the cats go to the bathroom. And I'm thinking, why would anybody want to know that?
Because you need to know that they're healthy, and it will let you know if there's something wrong.
I
like that.
God created this thing that a lot of people have used in the past. It's called our nose.
Do you really want to smell that?
Well, no.
There's been 0 odor since we got that thing.
That is true.
0. And if we're going to be in a 300 square foot RV, we want 0 odor.
It's also almost the size of one of those little mini Fiat cars that you see that shouldn't be on the road but are.
It is about, yeah. You could fit a small human in there. I'm totally their customer of the year.
I determined that I just need to keep her the hell off of Kickstarter. I mean, that's really it. She's like Kickstarter queen, man.
Oh, you got me started on it.
Like, I buy normal shit on Kickstarter, books and card decks and stuff like that. She buys these gigantic robots.
I didn't buy that from Kickstarter.
They're going to all take us over in the middle of the night sometime.
I did not buy the robot off of Kickstarter.
Okay.
I will be clear on that. I may have seen an advertisement for a related one and then gone searching for what's out there, but I didn't see those on Kickstarter. But I did buy my RV-sized pottery wheel on Kickstarter.
Yeah, so
it's shipping soon.
This is a pottery wheel.
It's so cute.
That gives you the ability to make pots of different sizes.
Pottery. They're this big.
This big. Who the hell makes a pottery wheel that allows you to make 1 inch
Somebody
wide
on
pots?
Kickstarter who was like 5 times funded in a matter of minutes.
Obviously, they didn't read the fine print.
Obviously.
Like,
I did.
Look, I'm going to make a brand new lid for my water bottle.
The pigeon is back. I'm going to make a brand new lid.
What's about the size of the pots?
They're a little bit bigger. I got the wheel extension so that you can make bigger things.
We do have a portable kiln that runs on 110 that apparently we're planning to take on the RV.
I would like to take that. I would.
But anyway.
There was something I bought on Kickstarter that was a robot.
Yes, apparently size does matter, Mark. I don't know.
No comment. I'm just going to end it there. I'm done. This is like a normal evening for us, actually. Val said, I just laughed and snorted, scared our dog. Now we're putting the fear into people's animals.
Sorry, not sorry.
This makes me want to look up Kickstarter and see what I did buy.
Yeah, everything is being recorded. I'm not sure how to pronounce your name, Aliko, maybe.
Ileko?
But all of these,
pretty name regardless.
All of these recordings here on Tuesday nights are recorded automatically right to my YouTube channel. So as soon as we finish, you can go back and watch actually, you could probably go back and watch the replay right now. So that's why, yeah, that's why I do them this way, is so that, you know, if you spend time on my YouTube channel, there's a whole bunch of these that you can watch.
That's what it was that I was thinking of.
What?
The drinky. We got the sous vide and the starchy. Now we're going to have the drinky for the cats. It's their new water fountain filter thing.
Great. So whenever they come out with their stupidity, are you going to buy that too?
Hey, I actually use most of this stuff versus the stuff that I've bought you that just goes into a bin in storage. I'm just saying.
No comment. Anyway,
you use most of it. I will give you that.
Yes,
but the arsenic thing.
Yes, Lori. Expert Media Webinars is going to stay right where it is on Tuesdays at 6. Only Unscripted and Magickal podcast will be on Monday.
I'm using this right now. We use these all the time.
I do like those.
The hang balance lamp. Those are going in the RV. I need to get off Kickstarter. I am closing the app now.
Yeah, Kickstarter is evil,
so
Laura,
evil.
in the best possible way.
It is. We find some of the coolest stuff on there. The problem with traveling, though, is the address for stuff like Kickstarter that might be, you know, anywhere from 3 months to a couple years out.
Right.
And updating that. It's not always easy.
So anyway.
Glad we could entertain.
Yeah.
Middle school chocolate milk nose output.
So I think that's all we have for tonight.
Yes, I have used the sous vide mark 4 times so far. Maybe more than that.
4.
It's hard when you don't know how to cook at all.
Yeah. Well, bless your heart.
I did try. I ate all of my own food. Thank you very much. You tried. You ate the lasagna.
The lasagna was actually good. Yeah.
I've been thinking about making that again. Only doing it correctly this time so the noodles don't become nothing but mush.
No comment. Now you understand why I cook.
Well, our deal was that I would do sous vide stuff on teaching nights so that we could still eat a semi-proper meal.
Oh, excuse me.
To which you'll just go get the ice cream anyway.
Yep. So that's all we have, folks. Thank you all very much for joining us.
Thank you.
For tolerating us, putting up with our shenanigans.
Uh-huh.
I promise you that in the future, there will be more. But the next course, I will probably start sending notifies about that sometime in the middle of next week, so that we can kind of get into the routine of things here again. I already have it all outlined. I just need to actually put together the sales page and all of that kind of stuff. So
speaking of robots, that was the cat's food.
Yes.
If you heard that, sorry. We're in a tiny space.
Thank you all for joining here tonight.
It was fun.
We will see you next Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern live. And
he will see you. I will probably
will.
not be on Tuesday.
I'm sure it'll be something incredibly informative and interesting.
Always.
So good night, everyone.
Good night.
Enjoy the rest of your week.